Good morning, America. Massive global internet outage now entering day 2 of worldwide chaos affecting hospitals, emergency services, travel, and even the Olympics as thousands of flights are impacted. What we know about the cause and the company behind the fail.
The race for the White House Trump-Vance ticket hits the ground running. Their first joint rally today in the battleground state of Michigan as Trump talks with Ukraine's leader, while President Biden, in isolation with COVID, fights for his place on the ticket, with more than 36 Democratic lawmakers calling for him to step aside.
Maverick Texas lawmaker Sheila Jackson Lee passing away. An advocate for social and economic justice in her 3 decades in the House, how she's being remembered.
Guilty verdict. After a surprisingly speedy trial, a Russian court finds American journalist Evan Gershkovich guilty, sentencing him to 16 years on espionage charges deemed a sham by the U.S. government. What happens now? Back
to school shopping. In July, school needs fueling Prime Day's record-breaking bottom line. Now we have the ABCs of getting A-plus bargains on what your kids will need this fall.
Skills and thrills.
The greatest women's basketball players in the world.
The excitement overnight as the WNBA's top players show off their best moves on All-Star Weekend.
It's the elbow jumper.
The highlights.
The money ball is good.
And a look ahead to tonight's All-Star matchup against Team USA.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Oh, we are starting a Saturday right here. Good morning, America. So good to see you on this Saturday. There is a lot going on this morning, including that fast-moving wildfire in Southern California, close to a busy freeway, the record triple-digit heat making the fire more difficult to contain. The details on that ahead here.
Also, new details coming in overnight on the investigation into the attempt on Donald Trump's life just a week ago today. This as Trump and his VP pick J.D. Vance hold their first joint rally today in Michigan, and people are already lining up to get inside.
But we do begin here with the global computer crisis. Its effects are still playing out around the world this morning. Countless hospitals, government agencies, airlines, and other businesses struggling to get systems back online, all because of a software update from a company that's supposed to protect computer systems. Let's get the latest now from Morgan Norwood from LaGuardia Airport. Morgan, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. But yes, airports are mostly back online. But look, as you pointed out, that travel nightmare continues. Here at LaGuardia, I've watched as the line kind of swells and folks flock to the ticket counter here. I'm also tracking a number of delays and cancellations. 43 cancellations, close to a dozen delays. But look, that's nothing compared to the thousands of flights that were scrapped yesterday, which in turn means today we expect airports from coast to coast will be full of travelers scrambling to get where they have to go. So yes, while we have seen an IT fix, the fallout continues.
This morning, airline passengers across the globe growing frustrated as the massive tech disaster reaches into its second day. Some passengers still stranded, spending the night at airports, others with long lines and delays.
Our connecting 8:15 flight was delayed until 11 o'clock. Of course, we missed that because we weren't off the plane in time.
In many airports, what should have displayed critical flight information to travelers, instead showing that so-called blue screen of death error message.
All flights grounded.
Today, so far, more than 700 flights canceled, and on Friday, over 12,000 delays and more than 3,000 cancellations. At LAX, luggage piling up from canceled flights, and in a Delta lounge, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg spotted waiting for his flight. But the outage stretching far beyond travel. The Department of Homeland Security saying the outage hit 911 dispatch centers in multiple states and slowed operations in at least a dozen major hospitals. Allison Balos' father, Gary, had urgent open heart surgery scheduled in Kentucky after doctors discovered 8 of his arteries were blocked. But early Friday morning, the hospital abruptly postponing the surgery.
So you do all this preparation for this life-saving surgery just to be told that it's put on hold.
Yeah, it really is a roller coaster. I already knew waking up, with some anxiety, a text message is going to be there and you hope it's just he's gone into surgery, it's going well. But instead it was, there's a global outage, he can't go.
The outage traced back to what was intended to be a routine software update issued by CrowdStrike, a cybersecurity firm. Instead, the update they sent out crashed machines running on Microsoft Windows. CrowdStrike CEO quashing fears about a targeted attack.
To be clear, it was not a cyber attack. It was a content bug or update that we sent out, that we identified, and we rolled back.
Banks and businesses also affected. Shippers UPS and FedEx warning customers the software outage could lead to delayed package deliveries, triggering another round of disruptions for Americans as they scramble to recover.
And meanwhile, CrowdStrike says that they are committed to transparency and that they plan to share with customers how this happened and steps to prevent this from happening again. Meanwhile, if you are traveling, if you'd like to avoid the chaos, it's best to check with your airline before showing up here to the airport. Gio?
Just unbelievable. I couldn't even get my computer started this morning, Morgan. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and bring in ABC News contributor Elizabeth Nuemann, who is also a former top official with the Department of Homeland Security. Elizabeth, good morning. Thank you for being here. First of all, how could this even happen? We're talking about a security patch to a software update and the system. How could this cause this massive disruption?
Well, good morning, Gio. It's a great question, right? Like, they are a preeminent cybersecurity firm providing next generation cybersecurity. But what they do is they provide it to companies that are operating in the cloud. So basically, when they pushed out this update, in order for it to work, that next generation piece is that it has really unprecedented access to operating systems. And they do test before they deploy, but clearly something went wrong here and disrupted a whole lot of lives yesterday.
And Elizabeth, obviously, when we're looking at this and we saw this happen, we realized, oh my gosh, so much of our world is actually dictated by computers in so many ways. So when we're looking at the infrastructure here in America, what does this tell us?
It seems like we're having more of these moments, right? Like last month, we had a cell phone outage, and that was also caused by a technical error. But then we also have hacks, right? We had the health insurance companies earlier this year. We had an energy pipeline. And anytime one of these hacks happens or technical errors, it has these massive cascading effects. So I think one of the lessons learned here is that we're very independent. We're really heavily reliant on our infrastructure, internet and communications technology. And I don't know that no fail is actually a realistic option. I think what we do need to work towards as a goal is resilience. And we need to make sure we have backup systems in place, backup plans, so that if our primary systems don't work, we have something we can turn to. And in a little bit of a bright spot, we did see a number of systems across the country turn to those backup systems, and for the most part, it worked well, but we probably need to exercise that more.
So what specific steps do we need to take here to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
I think there are three areas of work. One is at the federal government level. They have responsibility for overseeing critical infrastructure. And I would imagine next week, after the recovery has taken place, there will be a lot of tough questions about how did this happen and how do we make sure it doesn't happen again. But beyond that, I think this is a good lesson for leaders of companies. Look, if you want to prioritize security and resilience, it has to come from the top because it's a loss leader. You're investing money, you're not necessarily going to see a return on your shareholder price. But it is important. A little bit of preparedness and resilience investment saves you a whole lot of money on a bad day. And then the last thing for all of us is just to be vigilant. The cybersecurity agency has noticed that there is an uptick in threat actors trying to take advantage of this. They are warning against phishing and other malicious activities. So practice good cyber hygiene. Don't click on links that you don't know where they're from, and they can come from text or from your email.
That's right. Be vigilant. Pay attention. All right. Former Homeland Security official Elizabeth Nuemann, thank you so much for joining us. Rhiannon.
All right, Gio, thank you. To politics now, and the renewed focus on calls for President Biden to drop his re-election campaign. Top campaign officials on the phone with campaign staff in an attempt to boost morale while the president recuperates from COVID. ABC's Selena Wang is in Delaware with more on this. Selena, good morning. Any signs the president is considering this?
Hey, good morning, Rhiannon. Well, the president remains defiant, even as support from Democratic leadership crumbles. This as now more than 36 Democratic lawmakers are now publicly calling for the president to step aside. But even as the president still recovering from COVID here in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, he's already making the announcement that next week he's getting back on the campaign trail. Now, sources tell us that Leader Schumer, Jeffries, and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have all told the president that he will lose to Trump and drag down Democrats in Congress. We're also told that Pelosi privately told colleagues that she believes this pressure will get the president to make a decision soon. Now, I'm told the president is listening to their concerns, but that he's personally upset by how Democrats have turned against him. All of this is also coming as money is drying up. Yesterday, Vice President Harris joined a call with some of the campaign's top donors, but I am told that this did not go well. I'm told by a source who is on the call that some of those donors were furious because they want President Biden to drop out of this race and feel like they didn't get a chance to share their concerns. But look, this decision to step aside is only one that President Biden can make, and time is running out. With every passing day, that pressure will only get more intense.
Yeah, that convention just around the corner. Selena Wang, thank you. Now to the Trump campaign. The former president today holding his first rally on the trail with his new running mate, J.D. Vance, in a critical battleground state. Jay O'Brien has more from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Jay, good morning.
Whit, good morning. This is former President Trump's first time back on the campaign trail, his first rally since that assassin's bullet hit his ear exactly a week ago today. We're already seeing people starting to line up. You can see their heads over this security fence. Some people waiting to get in here since yesterday. As you said, this is Trump and his new VP pick, J.D. Vance's first time campaigning together as a ticket. Trump is fresh off the RNC just days ago, where he delivered that message of unity in the wake of that assassination attempt. But his remarks there quickly veered back to old Trump campaign themes, like lashing out at his enemies, like airing grievances. Meantime, Vance is expected to continue a message that he started at that convention, pitching his populist policies to key voters in Rust Belt swing states like right here in Michigan, telling them that he grew up like they did, a self-described hillbilly in rural Ohio.
And Jay, we're also learning that former President Trump spoke on the phone with Ukrainian President Zelensky.
That is exactly right, Whit. So we know that that call happened yesterday. President Zelensky says he congratulated Trump on officially becoming the GOP nominee. He condemned that attempt on Trump's life. And then he pitched that aid for Ukraine, in Zelensky's view, is a bipartisan issue here in the U.S. Trump, who's been skeptical about continued military assistance for that country, said the call was, quote, very good, Gio.
All right, Jay, thank you so much for that. And we're going to turn now to the new information emerging about the man suspected of trying to assassinate former President Trump just a week ago today. Phil Lipof is here with the latest on that. Good morning, Phil.
Gio, good morning to you. As investigators continue to dig into this shooter's background, we are seeing new pictures and learning new details that suggest it is possible it could have been stopped before he fired a single shot. This morning, new insight into the final moments of a 20-year-old would-be assassin, as we are seeing new pictures of Thomas Matthew Crooks right before Saturday's shooting. Local police taking these pictures when they first noticed the shooter, and these pictures of the items found on the roof, including a black cell phone and a gray wireless transmitter authorities say he intended to use to remotely detonate explosives in his car. A source with knowledge of the investigation telling ABC News about the searches found on the gunman's phone, the date of Trump's rally, major depressive disorder, the Democratic National Convention, and bomb making. Images of FBI Director Christopher Wray, Attorney General Merrick Garland, and other public figures found on the phone as well. And investigators are looking into whether the shooter used a drone to surveil the rally site sometime before the shooting. We are also learning it's possible the attack could have been thwarted as late as 6 minutes before the first shot was fired. At 5:41 Saturday evening, a sniper with the local SWAT team put out a description of a suspect lurking around the ARG building. 24 minutes later, a radio call. That suspect spotted at picnic tables carrying a backpack. 1 minute later, the sniper who first noticed him left his position and went to meet a patrol officer. 2 police vehicles moved in position. But at 6:12, those shots rang out. It's still so terrifying to watch, and there are so many questions to be answered. Who received that information being relayed about the shooter? And did concerns of a suspicious person and a possible threat to the former president get to Secret Service commanders on site? Well, the director of the Secret Service will face those questions and more as she plans to testify about the assassination attempt Monday on Capitol Hill. Rhiannon.
All right, Phil, thank you. We turn now to the growing outrage over the trial of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich in Russia. A court sentencing him to 16 years for spying. Allegations the U.S. government and the Journal deny.
This morning, the U.S. denouncing the conviction of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich for espionage as a sham. The 32-year-old who denies any wrongdoing sentenced to 16 years in a maximum security prison in Russia. Gershkovich appeared with his head recently shaved behind glass, smiling to reporters as the verdict was read. Nearing the end, a brave outburst of support for Gershkovich before he waved and left the courtroom. The Russians offered no public proof, yet his trial, which should have taken months, was held in secret and over in just 3 days.
This was a fast, secret, and completely bogus trial. Everything about it was a sham.
Gershkovich was on assignment for the Journal when he was detained and accused of passing information to the CIA, the first American journalist arrested for spying in Russia since the Cold War.
There's talk of some sort of deal being put together. That's certainly what's happened in the past. But, our focus is we're not going to stop putting the attention on Evan for as long as he's being detained.
President Biden says there's no higher priority than getting Gershkovich and others the U.S. considers wrongfully detained, like former Marine Paul Whelan, also in Russia, home safely.
We're working it as we speak, and we're not going to stop until we get Evan home, we get Paul Whelan home.
Gershkovich has already spent 15 months behind bars. This trial could pave the way for another prisoner swap between the U.S. and Russia. Whit.
All right, Ngyuen for us, thank you so much. An investigation is now underway into what caused a massive fire at the historic First Baptist Dallas Church on Friday. Plumes of smoke filled the Dallas sky. At least 100 firefighters battled the flames engulfing the structure that dates back to the 1890s. It took about 3 hours to get the fire under control. Officials say the fire was in the secondary chapel, basically destroyed it. Fortunately, no one was injured.